Coming up on this week's edition of the News at Rider, students celebrate the Chinese New Year.
And the university's Greek chapters take the next step in the recruiting process.
Stay tuned for the News at Rider.
With the overwhelming pressures of schools and classes, some students may need extra academic support. The Student Support Services is a program that is designed to increase academic performance of college students. Garrett Williams has more of the story.
Student Support Services is a comprehensive academic support program that helps acclimate students into a college environment. By doing so, the program sponsors special events and activities to enrich their students academically, socially, and culturally. I had the opportunity to speak with Queen Jones, who is the Director of Student Support Services.
I had the Student Support Services program on campus since 1993, and it's one of the 7 TRIO programs. The intent of the Student Support Services program is to assist students in acclimating to Rider or any other university that has a TRIO program. And in addition to the getting acclimated, the intent of the TRIO programs is to assist the students in doing well, developing the skills they need to be successful, as well as making sure that they're retained and hopefully graduate from the university.
Queen Jones also gave me some insight on how the academic activities benefit the students.
Well, the activities are just another service that we offer our students. We look at the student holistically. We not only want to make sure that they are wonderful students, but we also want to make sure that they're feeling great, that their bodies and their spirit is also ready for college. And so we do provide cultural and social type activities that enhance the spirit, that make them feel that college is not only academics, it's also social and cultural. It's a new experience for the students.
Today I had the opportunity to attend an award ceremony for students who made the Dean's List for the fall semester. During the ceremony, students were awarded certificates of achievement based on the academic standing. At the ceremony, the students spoke about how the program has benefited them academically.
SSS actually helped me with my GMATs because I am a graduate student, and I actually went to Dana Lopes, who was the assistant director of the SSS program, and I did tell her my concerns about the GMATs, and she has helped me by providing me the essential resources to take the tests. So academically, that definitely has helped me to get to where I am in the MBA program.
It's been a wonderful experience. It's like they're a second family to me. I'm very close to my family, but whenever I needed them, they always had their door open. They were willing to listen. They offered financial help as well as moral support. They're really good at what they do, and I would never think that they turn any student down. So it's a great program, and I recommend it to anyone.
For more information about the Student Support Services, stop by the Academic Annex, Room 17. This is Garrett Williams, Channel 20, News at Rider.
For more information about the Student Support Services, please contact Queen Jones at 609-895-5007.
The Play Proof began its run at Rider this past weekend. Kelly Dixon had a chance to speak with some of the students and the faculty involved.
Rider University is known for its wonderful theater productions. Currently, a cast of 4 students are performing in the show Proof.
I read the play before auditions, and the part of Catherine just seemed awesome. There were a lot of aspects to her that I could really relate to.
I play the role of Hal, who is a protege of Catherine's father, Robert. In a way, he's a mathematician and he teaches at the University of Chicago.
Dr. Kamel is directing the show and gave us some insight as to why this show was chosen.
We look at the entire season, of course. We began this season with a big musical, Sweet Charity, and we end the season with a big Greek tragedy with 18 actors or whatever in the Spitz Theater. So every year we try to do a musical and then a classic like the Greek tragedy, and then a contemporary modern play. It's rare that we do one with only 4 characters, but we thought maybe if ever we're going to do that, this might be the year.
A lot of work goes into preparing for a show.
I prepared for Catherine by doing some research about mathematicians, because she is one. Also about depression, because that's one part of her life. She's 25 and she's starting to suffer from depression. So I did a lot of that, and also just getting close with the other actors in the cast, because it's a close-knit group, and the play is really about their relationships and how they grow and change.
I'm not really great at math. I didn't necessarily review a lot of math, but what the words were and stuff like that, I looked through a lot of stuff pretending that I know it. It was more convincing myself that I knew what I was talking about and convincing others.
It takes us, the director, approximately half the year, not 24/7, but when I began working on proof, about 4 months before the audition takes place. I mean, every piece has its own demands relative to the kind of research that has to be done in order to feel ready to understand and rehearse a play.
The cast and crew say this is one of their favorite shows to be performed at Ryder.
Mainly because Dr. Kamel was awesome. Just thank him for giving me the opportunity, and the cast. I've never worked with a cast like this before. They were just absolutely outstanding. They made my job so much easier.
Totally, I think one of the most fully realized productions that I personally have been involved in at Ryder.
So far, they have been pleased with the turnout.
We've gotten like a really good audience, and like everyone just really loves the show. I mean, I guess you always prepare yourself for the worst. So I was just planning to see like 10 people in the audience and people like not get it. But I mean, there's been a lot of people every night, and everyone like can relate to it and says they really enjoy it, which I'm glad about.
I'm really excited about. We had about 200 people here for the preview performance on Thursday, and then about 200 for both Friday and Saturday.
Dr. Kamel hopes that audiences aren't intimidated by the mathematical theme of the show.
It's not about math, and there's some sex in it too. It's probably R-rated. People swear, and there's a lot of kissing, and they're on their way upstairs to have at each other in one scene, and so it's it's so modern. And it's so hip, and and the characters are so incredibly intelligent and energetic and so on that you give us the first 15 minutes of your time, and you're not going to want to leave.
For the News at Ryder, this has been Kelly Dixon.
You can also see Proof this Friday and Saturday, February 22nd and 23rd at 8 p.m. in the Yvonne Theater.
The upcoming election is one that will go down in history, whether the first woman president, first black, or the oldest president is to be elected. Dr. Myra Gutin has taken special interest in this year's polls. I was able to get the story. Dr. Gutin is not only a professor at Rider University, but is also a historian. She explained that becoming a specialist on America's First Ladies was almost an accident.
I became a communication historian in a very odd way. I was looking for a doctoral dissertation topic at the University of Michigan, where I was a doctoral student, and I had thought that I would write something about Eleanor Roosevelt. I had great admiration for her, I still do, and I put together my prospectus, which is it tells what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, and I found that my dissertation committee chairman was not that enthusiastic. He said, I'd rather not have you just do one first lady. How about if you compare her with others? So I said, oh, okay, that sounds like a good idea. And a study that I thought was going to take 18 months ended up taking 5 years. The career that I thought I was going to have, teaching interpersonal communication and nonverbal and group communication, which I do, was actually pushed a little bit aside by all of the work that I've done in the area of American First Ladies. It was totally unexpected on my part. It just sort of happened.
Each lady has made their own impact on the states. the two most recent being Laura Bush and Senator Hillary Clinton.
Well, they're polar opposites. Hillary Clinton was controversial before she got to the White House, and there's been very, very little controversial about Laura Bush.
Knowing that Hillary was once a First Lady and is now running for office does not give her an advantage. Her time as a New York Senator is what gives her her experience.
You know, I've heard a lot said about, well, she had some experiences as First Lady, and she did, with national health care and welfare reform, and she gave a very highly regarded speech about human rights at a UN conference in Beijing, China. But I think the thing that makes her qualified in this presidential election, besides the fact that she's had the opportunity to observe power firsthand, have been her experiences as a senator.
Gutin explained that Hillary was a strong First Lady. She does not believe that President Bill Clinton would have much say in Hillary's presidency if she were to be elected.
Well, I think we see it playing out right now because there are many people who swear they will not vote for Hillary Clinton, even in the primaries, because they worry about Bill being back in the White House. And I think it's difficult for Senator Clinton to deal with. She said on any number of occasions, if I'm the chief executive, I'm the chief executive, and he will have things to do in the White House, but I will really be very careful about what it is that he does. So I think perhaps he is more of a millstone around her neck at this point in time.
To hear more about Dr. Gutin's perspective upon America's First Ladies, you can buy her book, The President's Partner, The First Lady in the 20th Century. Dr. Gutin's book can be found in local bookstores as well as on Amazon.com.
The celebration of Black History Month continued on Tuesday night with On Fire. Nicole Lawrence was there for all of the powerful poetry and stories.
On Fire is another way that the Black Student Union is trying to give students of the African diaspora a chance to speak out and show their creativity through poetry, prose, drama, fiction, visual art, photography, and more. On Tuesday night, there were refreshments, open mic performers, and 2 special guest performers. I got the chance to speak with Rance Robeson, the creator of On Fire, as well as a few members of the audience about the event.
Well, On Fire is a literary journal of the African diaspora, and what it is basically a voice for the diverse students here on campus. The diverse students make up 19% of the population, so there really isn't a huge voice for us out here. So I figured that, you know what, we might as well get something in engine that could push us, so we can actually be heard.
I think On Fire did a really good turnout. I remember him back in the fall of 07 talking about it, and he was like really excited about it, and a lot of people were interested in it. And I think it did a really good turnout. I think it's going to be a great success in spring 08 and also fall 08.
Once so attentive to my leader who would never fail to follow through. Now half-ass eye contact and quick physical contact only when your presence is expected to be brief. Even in public places, the only words I can get is when I walk away and I hear a sigh of relief.
Yesterday a tree spoke to me in Mississippi. She beckoned me to her softly, wanting no one to hear her horrid tales of bearing strange fruit. Her truth. She always tried to hide behind the other trees by pulling in her limbs and leaves when they came, but that never made them leave her alone. Instead, she'd moan as they dragged another screaming body to her trunk.
We're looking for prose, poetry, short stories, 10-minute plays. We're looking for artwork, photography, graphic designing work. I mean, the whole plethora. If you have essays also, we're looking for anything that's really saying something. We're looking for it. As long as it's on fire, we want it.
The first edition of On Fire will be issued this upcoming April, and On Fire is currently taking submissions for the fall 2008 edition. This has been Nicole Lawrence for Channel 20 News at Rider.
For more information about On Fire or to find out more about making a submission, you can email the On Fire staff at onfire@rider.edu.
The health of students and faculty is very important to Rider University. This week is dedicated to just that. Kelly Dixon has more.
This week is Wellness Week on Rider's campus. I had the chance to speak with some people involved in planning the events to get some more information about how students can get involved.
Today is the kickoff of Wellness Week. Right now we're having a salad making contest. You can also get your whole meal diagnosed by a nutritionist. And then tonight we have our faculty versus student basketball game, and it starts around 6 p.m. And we're just going to have students playing the teachers. It should be real exciting. And then tomorrow night we have a whole bunch of different stuff going on. There's a body image lecture in the daily boardroom. And next week is our wellness fair. It'll be next Wednesday, and that's when all the students today, they received passports to wellness. And if you go to all 5 locations, it's Cranberries, the SRC, Java City, Starbucks, and you get them punched out, you can be in the running for an iPad Nano.
Wellness Week takes a lot of planning, and student interest is taken into account.
We look at previous years to see what the kids liked here. The students really liked the Don't Get Lucky Without Your Ducky program, so of course we're going to do that again. And really what's coming up in the community that we feel are issues, so definitely with wellness, sleep habits, the drinking, obviously.
We've actually been planning for it a lot sooner than we did last year. We started in December before we left for break. We just come up with a bunch of activities that we think the students want to see and they would like to know, I always wondered what I'm actually eating at Daly's, like they have the facts up, but for someone to come in and look at it, it's even better.
SRC General Manager Carolyn Lauer evaluated students' nutrition.
Students ask all the time in class, what should I eat? And this is a great opportunity. I would say try to stay away from processed foods. Try to stay from things that are white. You want to stay away from refined sugar, flour, and stay with like whole grain things, your vegetables, your lean proteins. Certainly don't want to cut out any food groups, but there are some that are better than others. So basically, if it comes from the earth, it's a good choice.
Students seem to think Wellness Week is beneficial for Ryder.
A lot of students, they don't really understand how food is nutrients to your body and how it nourishes your body, your mind, and your spirit. And this Wellness Week or this wellness event that's going on is going to enlighten students on that.
If you are interested in coming out to an event for Wellness Week, keep your eyes open for posters around campus. For the News at Ryder, this has been Kelly Dixon and the Bronx.
Students looking for more information on Wellness Week, contact the Counseling Center extension 5157.
5,042 is quite a large number, yet it continues to grow as the academic year moves forward. What is it in reference to? The Rider University Department of Public Safety has reported these escalating digits as the amount of traffic violations issued thus far this year. Every day, several students return to their vehicles to find a surprise, and it's not necessarily an exciting one. Rider students seem to be aggravated at the number of parking tickets that are administered through the Office of Public Safety. Furthermore, they appear to despise the actual reasoning behind the tickets issuing. However, the Office of Public Safety, located in the General Services Building on the Lawrenceville campus, feels rather differently. The safety and well-being of the campus community are among the top priorities of the Safety Department. Ms. Vicki Weaver, Director of Public Safety, explains that the issuing of parking tickets is to essentially enforce a community standard and to ultimately follow the rules of a higher authority, the Lawrenceville Township.
Part of the duties and responsibilities of public safety is to maintain a safe campus, and part of that involves traffic enforcement. We need to keep the roads clear. Why? Not only for everyday traffic, but if in the event of an emergency, we had to get emergency apparatus on campus quickly and safely, we had to make that assurance to everyone that the roadways are clear. We have an agreement with the township that we will do our best to keep those roadways clear.
Many students park on roadsides to load and unload their vehicles upon weekend getaways and returns. Students proceed to block roads and fire lanes, all the while expecting their four-way flashers to omit them from violation. Nevertheless, this is unacceptable. Director Weaver and the rest of the Public Safety Department understand the exceptions that need to be made, and they feel it is important to stress that they want to work with students to maintain and improve safety fundamentals.
But we also understand that there are times when you need to go up to your room to retrieve some belongings or to unpack your vehicle. and you're going to be there for a very short period of time just to unload the vehicle or load the vehicle and then depart the area. And in those times, when you're going to be there for just a few minutes, and you need to pack or unpack, then what you need to do is give our office a call. Simply call extension 5029, speak to the dispatcher on duty, advise who you are, where you need, which residence hall you need to go to, a description of your vehicle, and the purpose of your needing to stop there.
In the 2006-2007 academic year, the Office of Public Safety issued an average of 613 motor vehicle violation summonses per month. William Roll, Associate Vice President for Finance and Controller, reported the total income for traffic fines was $175,337 for both campuses. So where does this money go? All funds collected contribute to the university's total revenue, which provides for operating expenses. Many claim that the prices of vehicle violations are absurd. Violations such as blocking the fire lane can cost a community member up to $50, a rather pricey bill for a college student. Every community member has the right to appeal an issued ticket, but as Keith Kimo, advisor to the Traffic Appeals Committee, mentions, it is very rare for a ticket to be dismissed. Cooperation with safety officials and abiding by the traffic regulations on campus seem to be the best way to keep oneself and their checkbook in the clear.
The Intercultural Greek Council held a Meet the Greeks on Wednesday evening. Sean Rainey has all the rushing details.
The Gabala room in the BLC was filled with many different Greek organizations looking to create new members. The Greeks used PowerPoint slides, speeches, and demonstrations to showcase their organizations. I found out what exactly is Meet the Greeks.
Meet the Greeks is basically for us to be able to exhibit our organization to other people on campus. People that might be interested in Greek organizations that are really, these organizations are minority Greek organizations. We're part of the Intercultural Greek Council, which is known as IGC. And this is one of our, I guess you can say, recruiting ways. We tell a little bit about our organization, and we exhibit a little bit about what we do.
I asked the many different Greek organizations present what they hope their chapters can get out of this event.
This night, is just a chance for us to showcase that we are on campus and to let people know that we're here, and hopefully we get a good turnout and everyone notices that we are on campus.
Hello, my fraternity Kappa Alpha Psi. We're here basically to let people know more about, Kappas, I personally feel like, Kappa is about achievement, and there's certain men out there that are drawn to a fraternity of that caliber,
Recruiting is hard for any Greek organization, and even harder when you're a lesser-known organization here on campus. How does a small Greek organization go about recruiting?
Well, each organization is different. We throw events on campus. We usually put them out on Facebook, flyers, and hopefully people come out. We usually get good turnouts for events.
Well, basically we depend on having, programming of significance. Our philanthropy, we fundraise for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. It's a hospital in Tennessee that's for years been working to fight chronic illnesses in children despite the cost, despite their ability to pay. So through our philanthropy and other programming of significance, finance workshops, things that are fun too. We have a party going on this Friday. Through programming of significance, we tend to draw members that are serious-minded, that are about the business.
I learned what Intercultural Greek Council has planned for later this semester.
One of the things that we focus on in the spring is a multicultural pageant, and which is where girls can showcase their an ethnicity of their choice, whether it be Puerto Rican or anything, and they're able to exhibit to the rider community what their organization, what their country is about.
This has been Sean Rainey, Channel 20, News at Rider.
For more information about Intercultural Greek Council, visit the Greek Governing Council office in the Bart Luedeke Center, Student Leadership Suite, or by calling 609-895-5675.
This past Saturday, the Greek community celebrated Bid Day, an annual event in which all the Greek houses meet at the patio of the BLC to welcome in their new brothers and sisters. The patio scene is one of the most anticipated events of the day. New members from all the houses get to stand on top of the balcony as their house cheers them on from the ground. After the balcony scene, many Greek chapters circled up and sang their chapter songs.
Recently, riders joined a 10-week competition among colleges and universities called Recycle Mania. Nicole Lawrence has a story on exactly what the university is doing to get involved.
From January 28th to April 7th, Rider will be participating in Recycle Mania. We have chosen to join the waste minimization part of the contest, which focuses on producing the least amount of waste per person. I got the opportunity to speak to Diana Kays, the Sustainability Coordinator, as well as Matthew Smith, Dining Services Director, about what Recycle Mania is and the steps Rider is taking towards waste minimization.
It's a competition between colleges and universities to measure their waste stream. We're participating in waste minimization of it, so we're actually measuring our waste and our recyclables. So what we want to do is reduce our waste, increase our recyclables, but overall it's going to be measured against the population of the campus. So it's part of it's a competition that's been going on for a couple of years. There's upwards of 400 schools involved, but it's part of the President's climate commitment that meets a benchmark that says we're establishing a climate neutrality plan.
We're actually working from a lot of different levels. We were talking today, obviously, about we've already eliminated straws. We are in the process of eliminating styrofoam. We are looking at the removing of trays, which it sounds like we're going to be doing this week, and that's all to obviously eliminate the need for waste going to landfills.
Well, we have a whole strategic plan, actually, and it encompasses, student awareness, student participation, getting faculty and staff involved as well.
The Sustainability Committee would be happy to receive any feedback about the changes being implicated in the upcoming weeks. You can contact Diana Kays at kays@rider.edu. This has been Nicole Lawrence for Channel 20 News at Rider.
You can visit Rider's website for more information about Recycle Media and to find out how to pitch in here at Rider.
The SRC hosted the FYE Basketball Shootout this past Wednesday. Sean Rainey was there to cover the action.
The Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, along with FYE, have been hosting the FYE Basketball Shootout for a chance to win 2 round-trip airline tickets. The winners from all the MAC schools will then compete for the tickets during the MAC Championship Series in Albany, New York. Participants in Rider's FYE Shootout entered the SRC lobby and registered for the event while also receiving a MAC t-shirt. The teams for the competition were broken into a men's team, a women's team, and a co-ed team. Players had different reasons for coming out to the event.
We actually came to work out and we saw the table outside, so we just decided to sign up and try to win.
I found out by looking at the intramurals volleyball schedule. It said FYE tournament.
I heard about it a couple years ago and I won 2 years with the co-ed division, so I figured why not come out here and try to win it again.
A problem teams encounter is not getting a hot hand at the right moment.
We had a real good game, making most of our shots, but once you miss one, you can miss a couple, so it's tough.
Sports is all about competition and strategy. The participants gave their takes on how the overall competition went and how their strategy played out.
Nah, it wasn't no competition.
The cake, it was a lot of fun.
It's pretty good this year, but the thing is the strategy was pretty tough.
Our strategy was that she was going to hit the outside shots and I was just going to go for the solid rebounds.
Reporting from the SRC, this has been Sean Rainey, Channel 20, News at Rider.
The MAC Championship Shootout takes place March 6th through the 10th.
This Sunday, Rider University celebrated the Chinese New Year. Garrett Williams was able to cover the festivities.
Being miles away from home does not affect our Asian students. Today I am here with the Sandus students celebrating the Year of the Rat. This morning, students gathered in the Kavala room to take part in the celebration of the Chinese New Year. This year being 2008 is the Year of the Rat. During the program, President Rosansky explained the significance of the new year.
It's the first in the cycle of the 12 animal signs, and it's particularly important, the Year of the Rat, as a time of renewal in so many ways, and isn't that wonderful to consider as we enter into this year? Those born in the Year of the Rat are endowed with great leadership skills, Ed. They are clever, sociable, and are the most highly organized, meticulous, and systematic of the 12 signs.
This year's celebration included musical performances, dancing, martial arts, and a delicious Chinese lunch. During the intermission, I had the opportunity to speak with students who participated in today's program as well as the advisor of this event.
I think it's a great opportunity for Rider University to know a little bit more about the Chinese culture, including the Asian cultures and everything. I think this event should happen every single year when the lunar calendar New Year starts. I just think it's just great. It's just amazing for those exchange students to express themselves into Rider community.
I think I just hope to see you next year, everyone.
There was a lot of preparation twofold in an administrative manner for Rider as well as the SANDA students. The SANDA students pretty much had their program and their itinerary for the day, the events, planned. From the special guests to the lucky draw to the different dancing and singing. Our end of the deal was making sure the rooms were reserved, piano was tuned, microphones were in place, media services were here. Well, you came as well. The linens, the decorations, so we have to reserve everything.
The SANDA students were very pleased celebrating this Chinese New Year with Rider University.
It's pretty nice. I'm enjoying the life here. Everybody, everyone's nice, and I feel really warm here.
新年快乐! Happy New Year. This is Garrett Williams, Channel 20, News with Rider.
Students are looking forward to celebrating the next new year here at Rider.
Now switching gears to national issues, illegal immigration has been identified by the United States Congress and 2008 presidential candidates alike as a nationwide problem. New Jersey is heavily affected by undocumented immigrants each year. Nicholas Balassi reports.
The state of New Jersey has the 5th largest population of undocumented immigrants in the United States, over 350,000. New Jersey restaurants like Cafe Colore in South Brunswick employ undocumented immigrants due to their willingness to work for low wages. Manuel Gonzalez is working to support his wife and 3 children living in Guatemala.
Over there is quite difficult to work because I work day and night and still cannot make enough money to support my family all by myself. At least over here I can work and my children are able to eat every day. I did not come to this country to cause trouble, only to be able to provide a sufficient life for my children and my family.
They want to do it, actually. They want to do it. Everybody I talk here, they want to get the papers and be legally working here. That's it. That's the bottom line.
Now hospitals in New Jersey carry the burden of treating undocumented immigrants. The state estimates hospitals lost $1.3 billion this year for their treatment. Ronald Sikowski of the New Jersey Hospital Association says many undocumented immigrants wait until they are extremely ill to receive more treatment at greater cost. He says hospitals should not be required to report these illegal immigrants.
First of all, we're not immigration police. Second of all, it's not our job to fill the role of the federal government in terms of being border patrol agents. Hospitals, again, primary function is to heal the sick and fix the broken, and by law and by mission we're mandated to do that.
Sikowski sees a new trend emerging where illegal immigrants are coming into the United States just to seek care.
The issue in an extreme case is of people coming in and out of the state either to have a baby delivered, and of course once a baby is delivered then automatically the baby is a citizen and the individual stays, or simply to have a chronic condition taken care of and then find their way back home. That's another part of the equation that appears to be perplexing.
Situations like these have thrust the illegal immigration issue onto the national stage. Senator Joe Biden, who voted for the failed Senator McCain-sponsored Comprehensive Immigration Reform Act of 2007, has called for a new bill that has 3 key elements.
We got to protect our borders. That includes our ports. Number one, we aren't doing enough on that regard, and that's unrelated to illegal immigration, including illegal immigration. Now, number two, we got to fine and put in jail those employers who knowingly lure people here in order to pay them a substandard wage and violate the law. 3, we got to get the 14 million people out of the shadows, give them an earned pathway over the next 10 years to citizenship. And lastly, I would have a serious discussion with Mexico. It's the second wealthiest country in the Northern Hemisphere, actually in the hemisphere. And what are we doing? they have a basically dysfunctional system with regards to allocation of opportunity.
General Wesley Clark says America must work with Canada and Mexico on its borders.
It's not just a matter of how you can fence it off and be unilateral about it, but you have to work with your neighbors on it. Well, I wouldn't want to use any defense assets on the border. I don't want the military involved in border security if we can avoid it.
In Trenton, New Jersey, I'm Nicholas Balsi.
The U.S. Congress continues to debate over a new bill addressing illegal immigration. And that's all we have for this week's edition of the News at Rider.
We'll see you back here next week.